Welcome to the tutorial on how to upload your G1000 data logs into AvConnect. It's important before we get started to note that you'll need the latest Garmin G1000 software, and you'll need an SD card in the top right slot of the MFD to do your data logging. So let's assume we've done that. From our AvConnect dashboard, we can go to our aircraft menu, and you'll notice a new tab called Data Logs. In the data log section, it will list the archive of all the flights that it's already uploaded from your G1000. In this case, we haven't done any yet, but if you had some, it'll be listed here. And a button on the right-hand side to upload your data logs. This will actually launch the AvConnect data log upload program, and as such, you may get a couple security warnings that you'll need to accept the first time you run this. Once running, you can enter your username from AvConnect and your regular password, and the program will log into your AvConnect account. Now, two options here. You can read your data logs. You can also analyze the flights, but we'll focus on reading them for now. Simply select where your nav card, your data log card is plugged in to your computer. In the future, that will pop up automatically for you. And then click the View button when finished. Now, because this is the first time we've seen this data card, you'll need to tell it what airplane this data card belongs to. And the next time you use it, the AvConnect system will automatically remember this for you. So select your aircraft and confirm this step because this cannot be undone. From here, you'll see a list of all the flights that are on your data card that have not yet been uploaded to AvConnect. The system automatically tracks this for you, so if you have older flights that are still in your card, they won't show in this list if you've already uploaded them. And from here, you can also select whether you want to record these as flights for your aircraft, whether you also wanted to enter pilot logbook entries for you. In the case of a service professional, you would probably want to uncheck this, since it's not your flights in your logbook, and whether you want an email for each flight, including your Google Earth map. Click the Upload Data Logs button, and the system will go to work. Now, this will take a few minutes because what it's doing is it's uploading each data log, and it's processing your exact flight path and all the parameters from your engine at the same time. It's analyzing this, and it's creating the flight records so that you don't have to do this manually. Here you'll see a list of the flights that have been uploaded from your data logs. And if I do have more than one aircraft, I've also got a pull down that will allow me to select which aircraft I want to view, which is really handy if I'm a service center and I have many customers that are sending this data to me. In the list, I've got a couple interesting flights, but let's take a look at the one that we flew from Rocky Mountain Metro over to Independence, Kansas. This is a nice long flight, and it gives us a good idea of what's happening with the data logging system. So first off, you'll see a nice graph of my engine performance during that flight. And you'll see I can select whether I want to view the EGTs, the CHTs, the TITs if I've got a turbo, and my other flight parameters as well. And what's concerning to me on this graph is that it looks like my EGTs actually spiked at one time during my straight and level flight. So this is something I really want to drill into. Let's go ahead and select the CHTs and see if we also saw a spike in our cylinder temperatures at the same time. Well, it really doesn't look like it. It looks like things were pretty stable in terms of my CHTs. So perhaps I was messing around with my RPMs. Let's take a look at that. And you'll see that my prop speed was pretty constant during that whole time. So what else could cause this? Well, on a hunch, let's go ahead and look at our fuel flow, because perhaps we did something with the fuel system or something happened with the fuel system at that time. So I click Fuel on the right-hand side, and I can actually zoom in on any part of this graph by selecting it. And you'll see that actually my fuel flow dropped during that period of time and my EGT spiked. So most likely I was doing a lean assist at this time. We're normally flying around 20 gallons an hour, and we dropped down to 14, and you can see that in the graph. So the engine graph gave me a nice view of what was happening at that time and gave me some reasonable answers as to what happened with the EGTs that spiked at that time. So if I go back to the website, you'll see, and I refresh the page, you'll see that my data logs are now on the website too, which means all of my partners, my service center, and any of the other people that have access to my account can view my data log information to help troubleshoot and prevent problems with my airplane. Now let's see what else AvConnect did with the information. So we asked it, and what AvConnect also did was insert flight records into my permanent archives from the data log. So this is nice because I don't have to enter anything manually. It's automatically created the flight entries for me. So here's that same flight from Rocky Mountain Metro at Independence. And you see that it's automatically figured out what my flying time was and also updated my HOBS times. It knows where I started, what my startup and shutdown times were, and what the end HOBS is expected to be. And it's pretty accurate, plus or minus maybe 1/10 of an hour at the end of a month. At the same time, we told AvConnect to enter pilot logbook entries too for us. And you'll see that it's automatically figured out how much daytime that I flew, how many landings I did, and it's updated my logbook as a result. In addition, it's also updated my maintenance table. So on my tracking list, you'll see that after these flights and uploading the data logs, it's now telling me that I've got maintenance that's due pretty soon, which is really nice. So by updating the HOBS inside of AvConnect for me automatically, I now know at every point where my aircraft stands in terms of maintenance. And now for the fun part. So if I go back to my email, you'll see that I have flight records for each of the data logs that's been uploaded in my email box. And in each email, I've got a nice Google Earth map. If we open up the attached Google Earth map, this is really neat because what Google Earth will do is it will zoom in and show us our exact flight path from the two different airports, including any departures that I ran, my en route, and approaches and landing at the destination airport. So this is really nice. If I zoom in, I can actually see my flight path, including my downwind, my base, and my turn to final, and even the taxi back to the hangar at the end of the flight. If I was doing a series of approaches this day, this would be a really good way for me to go back and look and see how accurate I was and work with my instructor to actually polish up on my technique. Thank you for watching our tutorial today. We hope you'll enjoy the new features of AvConnect to upload your G1000 data log automatically into your account.